Good morning, everyone. This is BDF44. So today, just waking up, I watched a little bit of the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George presser. Not the whole thing, but I watched a little bit of it and decided I just wanted to kind of come on here and just react a little bit and maybe share a few thoughts about some other things as well. Um, so everyone's getting on Paul George for saying he's a Clipper fan or whatever. I don't care about that. I've known people who loved Kobe Bryant and still like the Clippers. I've known people like that, so that's not a big deal. Um, and I also saw in the conversation that basically Kawhi Leonard didn't really want to answer any questions about the Lakers situation. Don't blame him there. I wouldn't. That's behind him. He did what he did. He made his decision. I don't look at it like the Lakers missed out on Kawhi Leonard. I don't really see it that way, even though. Yeah, that's obvious perspective. But the reality is Kawhi Leonard decided he wanted to go to the Clippers. He made a choice. Now, why he made that choice, all of that is irrelevant. The point is he decided he wanted to wear blue and white and red or whatever their colors are. And black, and they got a lot of colors. And not purple and gold. When you do that, you let us know that you're not with us. So for me as a fan, and this is the truth. I felt the same way about Carmelo Anthony years ago. Felt the same way about LaMarcus Aldridge. Felt the same way about everybody who didn't come here. You made it clear to us that you're not with us. So it ain't no, oh, I wish you were here. No, I'm glad you're not. Kobe Bryant said something that made a lot of sense to me. A whole lot of sense to me. He wasn't talking to me, but it made sense. He said, if you got to convince somebody to be a Laker, paraphrasing, of course, then they're probably not the guy you should have, or they're not the guy you should have, more or less. They're not meant to be a Laker, is what the sentiment was. I agree. It was almost prophetic, because we're looking at Kawhi Leonard, and we were trying to convince him to be a Laker, sit here and try to woo him and all this nonsense. No. In his heart, in his mind, for his future, he wanted to be on the Clippers. Now, in my head, the way I equate things, and just from the way things have been in LA from a culture standpoint, I can't fathom why a person from Los Angeles would want to do that. Now, I see all the tea leaves. I've seen every reason for him to do so, and it's all lined up real nice. It's a good decision, all that. But you're trying to come home, and if you understand home, then you understand why the people at home aren't going to be happy about this decision. So that part is still kind of confusing, I guess you could say, for me. I don't really understand why you would sign up to be hated in your own city, but that's their choice. I think what it really comes down to is believing in yourself. When it comes to Kawhi Leonard, particularly, you believe in yourself. You believe you could turn things around. You want to set your legacy. It's about you, and to me, I don't know how to view that. I mean, I think when you're looking at it like at face value, of course you want to make a good decision for yourself in free agency. It's about you. That moment is about you. But when you're talking about going to a team trying to win championships, that could have been done in a purple and gold uniform with more certainty than it would be done in a Clipper uniform. So it wasn't necessarily about winning. It's about winning your way. In my history of watching basketball and my history of just watching people, when people choose to do things for the betterment of their own legacy and choose not to take the opportunity to do something even more special that maybe wouldn't benefit their own legacy, 9 out of 10 times it works out better for the people who did something for their own legacy. Now, how they feel about what they've done after they've done it, KD proved that. You might not always be happy if you don't do it for your own legacy. And maybe that's what Kawhi Leonard's paying attention to, the fact that KD went to Golden State, won, and still found himself unhappy or not fulfilled or what have you. So I can see why a person would follow up watching KD's decision with doing what Kawhi did. I see the logic in everything. I really do. But the only problem with that is when it's all said and done and you did something for your own legacy and you weren't a part of something that was a conglomerate of other people's legacies coming together to make something ultimately huge. When you do that and you fail, there's a lot of regret that comes with that, because you didn't set out to help a team. You set out to help yourself. And so when you fail, ain't nobody to look at but you. And that see that there's going to be something to be said for that if the Clippers don't win a championship, because they don't have a legacy of winning. That is a blank canvas, more or less. They do have a limited support system in their city. Like, they have to grow from here in order to be what it is that they're hoping to become. Now, as far as them taking over the city, I've said on record that I don't believe that that's possible. But at the same time, the impossible has occurred. So I have to adjust my thinking to the future in terms of the new generations watching the Clippers do whatever they do. And then from there, enjoying that and being a part of that. Just like I became a part of the Lakers at 9 years old. Somebody's 9 years old right now who's going to turn on a Clipper game a couple months from now and is going to fall in love. So for that, there's something to be said. But if he grew up in a household in Los Angeles and his daddy's a Laker fan, that's gonna go away. That's gonna be an interesting dynamic, because like we in LA, people who live here, people who understand this city, this is a loyalty town. It's the way people interact out here, particularly in the inner cities. It's tribal. We're not gonna be jumping ship to the next man's team because he has the hot stuff right now. Especially when your team is doing well too. See, that's the thing people need to understand. The Lakers are not running Mike Pemberton down there, with respect to him. He just got hired, and people like Robert Sacre, Kwame Brown. We don't have a roster full of guys like that. So if the Clippers came to town with that roster while we were doing as bad as we did in the past, with some of our players when we were in a downtime, then that would have made a little more sense to think that the Clippers could take on some of our fan base or snatch some frustrated people up or whatever. But the Lakers got Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Kyle Kuzma and Boogie Cousins. The Laker fans are very excited and think they have a fantastic opportunity in front of them, just like the Clippers do. So as far as taking anything from us, no, that's not in this era. Not happening. Because all we're looking at Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, all we're saying is, you chose to go against us. So if you win a championship, you won a championship. It's no different than watching the Raptors win. I think people need to understand that. From an LA perspective, when it comes to us, the Clippers can't win us over. I'm trying to explain that to people. It's not like that. It's just them winning. Just like we watched Golden State win. Just like we watched the Raptors win. Just like we watched San Antonio win. Those are teams over there, not us. That's what the Clippers are, not us. They just happen to be in our city. And we would love for them to leave. Most of us want them to go. So as far as them winning a championship, yeah, they're going to have a lot of fans, a lot of bandwagoners. But it's going to be a lot of purple and gold at their parade, booing them, reminding them that they ain't home. See, that's what people need to understand. It's not a situation where Laker fans will be like, yes, the Clippers are winning now. Let's go over there and look at. No, you're going to have a few people like that, yeah. But it ain't going to be a substantial amount of people doing that. No. What you're going to see is people looking at the Clippers like another team who won the championship that ain't the Lakers. And if they beat the Lakers to win it, you think they're going to get support? Please, buddy. Not happening. Not happening. That's what I think Kawhi and PG kind of alluded to that. Kawhi said, I would be happy if the Lakers don't, if the Clippers win a championship and there's no support, or rather no media coverage. Because he knows that's probably how it's going to go. If the season ends and the Lakers lose to the Clippers, the narrative is going to be the Lakers lost. Not necessarily that the Clippers won, but the Lakers lost. It's a LA town. It's a LA league. Let's just keep it a buck. It's a Laker league. I'm going to be honest. And, that's why it's so many chairmen coming together to try to keep the Lakers from being as successful as they can be. You got entities all over the place working together to keep the Lakers from doing what it is that they're ultimately trying to accomplish. You understand what I'm saying? teams. Pacers working with people. New Orleans working with people. All kinds of teams are working with each other to try to keep us down. Cleveland writing letters and stuff. New Orleans / the NBA trying to renege on trades to keep us from succeeding. I could argue that's what set us back the most out of everything. Is that Chris Paul trade. Ruined us. We ultimately turned around and gave Lamar Odom to the Dallas Mavericks for nothing. That killed our value. He was one of our most important pieces at the time, and we literally gave him away for nothing. So I look at this situation and I say, if the Clippers couldn't win us over then, when we were rolling out some of the worst players in the world, one of the worst starting lineups in the history of the sport, we rolled out there one year. It was so bad that, if I'm not mistaken, we had a player fouled out that had to play because there was only 6 players on the roster. Or they stopped the game. I don't remember how that went. But the game was adjusted because we had so few players on the floor, and they all sucked. All of them. All 6 of them were no good. Like, that's how bad it's gotten for the Lakers. Did we lose fans then? Did the Clippers take over then when Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were jumping over Kias and lobbing all over the place? And no, nothing happened. Laker fans were patiently waiting for their team to get good again. Clippers were good. We didn't care. And ain't nothing changed. And that's what I want people to understand about the Laker fan base. We've already set through the worst of it. We were right here. If you were going to take us, you would have did it over the last 7 years. And it ain't happened. We're right here. So good luck to anyone that decides to hitch a ride on that Clippers going to win over the Lakers fan base wagon. Y'all good luck with that. Don't put any money on that, please. And as far as just looking forward, I just tell people this. I've been a Laker fan since I was 9. That ain't ever gonna change. I don't care if the Clippers win 8, 9, 10 championships in my lifetime. It's just gonna be another team winning 8 or 9, 10 championships. It's 8 or 9, 10 years the Lakers didn't win. That's all that is. That's all that is. If the Clippers moved to San Diego right now, it would not change anyone's allegiance or understanding about the Clippers. They would still just be another team. Our only hope is not that they win for us. Is that they take LA off of their situation and go somewhere and win for them. That's what we want for the Clippers. As Laker fans and as real LA people, we don't want 2 teams. We don't. We want one team. Because this city is only big enough for one fan base, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. We've always felt that way. I know there are places in this league that are itching to get a franchise. And I sound like a brat for having 2 franchises and only wanting one. But understand what I'm saying. That franchise hasn't appealed to us. Ever. Not just from a winning standpoint, from a marketing standpoint as well. They just don't tend to do anything but poke the bear. Instead of bringing people in saying, hey, become Clippers fans. We know you're Laker fans, but check us out. It ain't never been that way. It's been F you Laker fans because you don't ride with our losing asses. That's how it's been the whole time. So it ain't gonna be no winning things over here. If you saw how things have gone over the last 20 years, Clippers and Laker wise, they not only have they not done anything for us, they've taken things from us. They've waged war against us. They've made us feel like we were bad guys for being on the winning side. So now that they have a winning team, if they're expecting us to jump ship or even glance in their direction with a positive look, they got us messed up. It ain't gonna happen. You're the enemy. You're gonna stay that way. And that's just how all Laker fans feel. Real ones anyway. And it's not gonna change. Not at all. Y'all can win over a new generation, as I've said in the past. Y'all can have a whole a whole generation of people die out. And if you're lucky enough, you can convince a bunch of new kids to ignore all them banners and all them statues and just focus on today. If you can do that, God bless you. Good luck. I think you're going to have a hard time doing it in this city. With the way that we roll, where gangs actually pretty much got their real strength and start. I ain't going to say we started gangs, but this is where you know them from. People out here don't act like that. We don't, oh, look at that shiny object. Let's hop on. No, we don't do that. It's y'all winning. We got to stop you from winning. Y'all succeeding. We waiting for our time to succeed again. We sat through the worst of it. Now we're really good. Clippers are really good. And that's that. It's us versus them. And we're going to beat them, as far as I'm concerned. Not just on the court, but off it. It's a Laker town, baby. BDF. Peace.